this nice UI, and we've nicely styled our cards. We want to, as we said at the end of the last lesson, we want to look at having a nice UI here for the loading state. So instead of it just saying loading, we're going to show some cards in a skeleton, and then we're going to display that here. So if we go back to our main code, so this is where we do our loading. So query is loading, we do that in here. So what we want is we actually want 9 cards to replicate what we have here. So I'm going to copy the grid to begin with and put that in here. So now we've got our grid, 3 columns, and then what we want to do is we want to be able to go through 9 an array of 9 items and put some cards out for each one of those, a bit of content. So if we do the for loop again, and then we say for each, and then what we'll do is we'll create an array. Oh, there we are. And that's nice, so that filled that in for us. So this will now iterate through the array and we'll output 9 things. So what we want to be able to do, what we'll actually do is we'll just do a P for now, and we'll just say loading. We need to put that in curly brackets and return a function. Whoop. Okay, so let's have a look, see what this is. So now we've got our array putting out our content nicely. So now what we want to do is we want to create the card component, but we want to have it with some dummy content with what they call the skeleton. So if we go to SolidUI, they have a skeleton component here. You see from the code, you just give it a height, you give it a style, then you can animate it, you give it a width, etc. So we'll copy that to import it into our project. We'll paste it in there. And then what I'll do is I'm going to actually create a new folder in here called custom. So these are custom components, not directly out of SolidUI. And in here I'm going to call it the skeleton card, skeleton card. Okay, so in this skeleton card, we first of all want to import all the card stuff. Card header, card content. Do those for now. We want to be in UI and we want to be in the card. So that's that. We also want our skeleton component, and we'll be needing the flex, I believe, because I think we used if we look in here, in the header, yeah, we use the flex. There we are. So then we'll export const skeleton card. It's not going to take any props to begin with, probably not at all. So let's just add the card component. So let's put something in here. Let's just keep going with this. So we've got the card header, we've got the card header. So we want to be able to, we want the flex in here. That's right. And this is trying to help me, but it's not very helpful at the moment. Okay, that's better. Right. So what I want to do is I want to have two skeletons. Get rid of this. I'm going to give it a class of margin bottom 2. And then we're going to give it a height of 16, a width of 250, and a radius of 10. And then very similar for this one. So this is going to be like the, almost like the header, the title. We're going to give that. We're going to make this a little bit shorter because this is the job title. We're going to give this a slightly less radius, and we're going to take that margin off the bottom of that. And then this skeleton is going to be the avatar. So that's that. And then underneath here, underneath the header, we want the card content. And we're going to have another skeleton. Again, we're going to give this a class of margin bottom 2 and a height of 12, width of 150, and a radius of 6, 5, 6. Then we'll copy that. We'll paste that. And that'll be exactly the same So we won't skeleton out the footer with the button. We're just going to skeleton out the top part. So let's import this into our component so we can see what it looks like. So what should happen now is when this is loading for that 3 seconds, we should see the skeleton card. The skeleton card is here, and it uses a skeleton component along with the rest of the card outline components to give us the idea of like a loading screen before we get the data in. So if we refresh, there we are, we've got our loading skeleton, and then in it comes. Great stuff. So that's the skeleton component and how to implement that as a loading screen using SolidJS and the create query from TanStack. Create query, solid query, couldn't think of the word. So in the final lesson, we're just going to have a quick look at styling this and theming it up and how easy that is to do. And then in a further course, we're going to have a look at how we can implement a full style system. Okay, thank you.